Federal Executive Council scraps Ministry of Niger Delta Development and Ministry of Sports Development. Federal government directs end to export of liquefied petroleum gas, targets reduction in price. Pundits call for wider consultation on proposed independent candidacy in Nigeria's electoral system.
Those that are trying to kill themselves because of primary elections, those issues will not be reduced.
We're live in Abuja, and this is the news desk at 3. I'm Comfort Amadu. Good to have you join us. President Tinubu and Federal Executive Council has scrapped Ministry of Niger Delta Development and the Ministry of Sports Development. There will now be a Ministry of Regional Development to oversee all the regional development commissions, such as Niger Delta Development Commission, Northwest Development Commission, Southwest Development Commission, Northeast Development Commission. On the other hand, National Sports Commission would take over the role of the Minister of Sports. And the Federal Executive Council also approved the merger of the Ministry of Tourism with the Ministry of Culture and Creative Economy. The decisions were taken today at the meeting of the Federal Executive Council in Abuja. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has sworn in Abdullahi Usman Bello as the new chairman of the National Code of Conduct Bureau. The short ceremony was at the commencement of the Federal Executive Council meeting this Wednesday. The 50-year-old Abdullahi Bello from Gombe State is a fellow of the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants, United Kingdom, and a certified fraud examiner in the US. He's a PhD holder in the anti-money laundering compliance from the Northumbria University, United Kingdom. Dr. Bello also has performed roles related to anti-corruption, anti-money laundering, financial intelligence analysis, forensic accounting, and financial investigation. Promises to bring his experience to bear as he leads the Code of Conduct Bureau. His inauguration followed the nomination by President Tinubu and endorsement by the National Assembly. Away from that, transforming agriculture into the backbone of the economy where innovation meets tradition and every farmer becomes a key player will ensure food security and job creation. Those were the words of the President, Agricultural Society of Nigeria, Professor Jude, at the 58th Annual Conference of Agri-Exhibition at the University of Abuja. Olajide Bello was there.
Since its establishment in 1962, the Agricultural Society of Nigeria, ASN, has always been a beacon of hope, advocating for sustainable farming practices and striving for food security and job creation across the nation. As the years unfolded, Nigeria faced daunting challenges: climate change, population growth, and economic instability, putting pressure on its agricultural sector. In the face of challenges, the Agricultural Society of Nigeria emerged as a champion of hope. Their commitment to sustainability not only transformed landscapes, but also lives through education, innovation, and collaboration.
We must go back to agriculture, where we can now generate production, increase our GDP. Because if you look at over time now, the GDP of the country has gone down. So what we need is productivity.
We now have productivity, we have marketing, and we have empowerment. And with that, we have more resources to our economy to have a balance of trade and have a good gross domestic product. And with that, we can elevate the value of our currency, and with that we can compete favorably with any other country in the world.
They sowed the seeds of change, nurturing a bright, more sustainable future for Nigeria, one rooted in the strength of its people and the richness of its land.
We still have sesame, moringa. These are billion-dollar exports for Nigeria.
As the years rolled on, the impact of ASN's initiatives rippled through the nation. The success stories inspired many to adopt sustainable practices. And so, in the heart of Nigeria, a new dawn arose, brightening the horizon of food security and job creation, where every seed planted symbolized resilience, growth, and renewed hope. Olajide Bello, NTA News.
On the proposed independent candidacy in Nigeria's electoral system and democracy will provide opportunities and ensure healthy competition among those seeking electoral offices, but there's need for wider consultations and sensitization. This is the view of guests on Good Morning Nigeria while discussing constitutional amendment and proposed independent candidacy. Ibrahim Bello Gunda reports on their conversation.
The House of Representatives is working on a bill to amend the constitution and allow independent candidates to run for electoral offices in Nigeria. Guests in Good Morning Nigeria say if properly handled, will change Nigeria's political landscape like godfatherism, exploitation by political parties, and provide opportunities for popular candidacy among others.
There is a lot of ways it can also alleviate some of the problems we're having today. Be it for the marginalized few to also find a place to anchor themselves, or be it to provide more choice for the electorate, be it to reduce godfatherism, but also to increase the open space for Nigerians to air their view.
Talk about independent candidacy. You are advancing and broadening that democratic practice. Those that try to kill themselves because of primary elections, those issues will now be reduced. Those that are denied opportunities to contest because they have no godfathers, those issues will now be taken care of.
It's a welcome development. For everything has its advantages and the other side of it. Yes, it will open up this, but the space is even open. My sister mentioned something. How many political parties we have in 19 political parties. If you say the political parties do not have president, there's no political party that have no presence in all the states in Nigeria.
They, however, expressed concern over the criteria to be met by independent candidates, which may be difficult due to time and money that may be required.
You need to get 10% of these voters across 2/3. And you don't know them. You have to campaign. You have to find a way to reach out to them. Maybe you have to incentivize them, induce them.
For INEC to come and verify these signatures, where is the time? Who will spend the money? Now, even for you to mobilize those people to come out.
The guests highlight how it may be easier to win the legislative than executive seat by independent candidates. They, however, express optimism that the proposed independent candidacy is timely and, if properly handled, will give Nigerians the desired change and opportunities needed as is obtained globally. In Abuja, Ibrahim Bello Gunda, NTA News.
House Committee on Aviation, Technology and Aerospace has pledged support to the Nigerian College of Aviation Technology Zaria for it to attain its full potential as an aviation institution comparable around the world. Haruna Mohammed reports that the committee, led by its chairman Abiodun Ishaq Akinlade, made the commitment during an oversight visit to the college in Zaria, Kaduna State.
Members of the committee were introduced to the management team before settling for the business of the day. The committee members, led by their chairman, took time to engage heads of critical sectors, especially the training school aimed at better positioning the school in line with the renewed hope agenda in the aviation sector. Members were also taken around facilities including the flight line, Boeing 737 full flight simulator, and Symfinity IPT station used for type rating and training of pilots. The committee chairman described the college as a special institution providing personnel for the aviation industry.
And we have noted what they complain about, and the committee will go back to the National Assembly. We are in the process of preparing the budget, and we look at this and see how their budget can be looked into and assist them so that we can have the best aviation college as it has been proposed by the founders of the school.
The Nigerian College of Aviation Technology, Zaria, established in the year 1964, with the recent acquisition of platforms, is not only regaining its rightful place as the aviation hub in Africa and beyond, but also saving the country foreign currency. From the Nigerian College of Aviation Technology, Zaria, I am Haruna Mohammed, NTA News.
The Federal Capital Territory Administration is actively consulting on how to sensitize residents of the capital city to the imperatives of waste to health to wealth. A capacity building for staff from relevant agencies and departments of the administration, and the focus is to make Abuja look attractive through proper reconditioning of waste. Details with Olusheye at Diagbo.
In the House of Cairo, one of the major residential areas in Abuja, is this refuse dump littered with miscellaneous materials and unarguably inimical to human health. Consequently, the Federal Capital Territory Administration is now tilting towards a circular economy where waste is maximized and economic value derived.
In the FCT, we are committed to embracing these innovations, but encouraging public-private partnership and leveraging on research and development that create sustainable waste management solutions.
As we strive for innovation in the FCT, let's recognize the importance of collective action in reducing waste and promoting eco-friendly practices.
This knowledge cafe is themed Waste to Value, Innovation in Sustainable Waste Management and Recycling in the FCT.
There are a lot of recycling activities going on, and the Abuja Environmental Protection Board is making efforts to establish recycling hubs.
It is the realization of that made the minister to give marching order that we should have an in-house workshop so that our staff who are at the forefront engaging with residents to know how they can come up with sustainable solutions for us to turn this waste into value that will enable more jobs to be created, values that will enable our society to become very green, and value that will enable us to know those challenges that they are facing on the field.
Usman Okpe Sunday's duty is related to the water, sanitation and hygiene wash sector. Like many of his co-participants, he is eager to utilize the knowledge gained.
Those households that don't have toilets, we see how to still re-echo it on them so that they need to take personal responsibility to construct their toilet.
We must encourage people to recycle right from their homes to the community and even to the entire city. Tell them how they can even make money from the waste they have been throwing all about.
As the drivers of these cars set sight on implementation, their major target is the sustainability plans. In Abuja, Olusheye Adiagbo, NTA News.
This is a news desk at 3 on NTA News 24. Stay tuned for more reports after this break.
My administration took over leadership of our country 16 months ago at a critical juncture. The economy faced many headwinds and our physical security highly impaired. We found ourselves at a distant crossroad where we must choose between two paths: reform for progress and prosperity, or carry on the business as usual and collapse. We decided to reform our political economy and defense architecture.
Thanks for being there. The House of Representatives has directed its Committee on Power to investigate the frequent collapse of the national grid and provide a report within 3 weeks for legislative action. Adopting a motion of urgent public importance, lawmakers express worry over the development and the attendant effects on the economy. The House stressed that stable power supply is essential for driving economic growth.
Is regretting that this sad development is coming at a time when the Honorable Minister of Power has given assurances to the nation of a stable power sector during the increase in power tariff.
Assembly correspondent Mitari Ikpen reports that the House passed for second reading a bill seeking an increase on Federation account revenue accruing to states to 20% based on derivative principle.
There are a lot of natural resources, and Mr. Speaker, these resources have not been fully tapped for the benefit of the federal government and the state. When this law is passed, Mr. Speaker, it will encourage states to go into the full development of these natural resources to the benefit of the state, having in mind the revenue derivation they will have.
That bill has been referred to the House Committee on Constitution Review for further legislative action. Nigeria approved a $1.28 billion deal, Seplat Energy and ExxonMobil, marking a significant milestone in the energy sector. Additionally, a bill to protect local manufacturers has also been passed its first reading in the Senate. Let's get more on this from Vivian Izzy Adifi.
The Dangote Petroleum Refinery has received 4 cargoes of crude oil from the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited under the Naira for Crude Sale Agreement. Officials of the refinery and the federal government confirmed on Tuesday. It was gathered that the 4 cargoes of crude were delivered to the refinery within the past 3 weeks when the government kick-started the sale of crude to local refineries in the Nigerian currency, Naira. Informed sources about the local crude sale deal said the refinery was still waiting to receive more crude oil cargoes from NNPCL, as more cargoes of crude would be delivered to the Dangote refinery in the coming weeks. There are indications that the $20 billion Lekki-based plant was now set to begin the direct sale of refined petroleum motor spirit, popularly called petrol, to domestic dealers. The program started with the Dangote refinery as the only petrol-producing facility in Nigeria at the moment, as the first phase of the Naira crude sale agreement will last for 6 months unless it is renewed by the federal government. In the meantime, the federal government has stopped the export of locally produced liquefied petroleum gas, also known as cooking gas, to prioritize domestic supply. The measure announced by the Minister of State Petroleum Resources Gas Ekperikpe Ekpo on Tuesday will begin November 1, 2024, and it is to tackle the high gas price in Nigeria. This was contained in a statement by the spokesperson of the minister, Louis Iba, in Abuja. Iba said the decision was reached after the minister convened a high-level meeting in Abuja with stakeholders to address the skyrocketing price and its attendant hardship on Nigerians. The price of cooking gas skyrocketed from 700 naira per kilogram in June 2023 to 1,500 naira per kilogram in October 2024. This represents about 114% increase within 16 months. In a move to tackle the soaring price of cooking gas, the minister established a high-level committee in November 2023, led by the chief executive of the NMDPRA, Mr. Farouk Ahmed, with key stakeholders in the liquefied petroleum gas value chain. With effect from November 1, 2024, NNPCL and LPG producers are to stop exporting LPG produced in Nigeria or import equivalent volumes of LPG exported at cost-reflective prices. With business news, Tokbe Alabi.
Tokpe Alabi down on the move to tackle the issue of high rates of gas price in the country. Now, the private sector and public-spirited individuals in Nigeria will have to complement government's efforts by empowering and extending a helping hand to the less privileged in the society. This was at a program to share palliatives to the less privileged by Divine Care Conglomerate Foundation, a non-governmental organization in Nigeria. Thomas Obetere was there.
Divine Care Conglomerate Foundation, an NGO known for training, feeding, helping and empowering the needy, has again taken its act of charity to another level. The NGO is currently training some women in different skills like tailoring and bag making as part of efforts to make the less privileged woman self-reliant. Some of the beneficiaries, who could not hide their joy, expressed how Divine Care Conglomerate Foundation has been very supportive.
I really appreciate Divine Care Foundation. I really appreciate. Thank you.
I want to appreciate the president, Miss Prosperity Ojezbolo, for giving us this great opportunity. It's a rare one, and we appreciate it. We are not going to take it for granted.
I've tried, and you have done a lot in this hard situation. We appreciate.
And whatever she do in life, I believe that Almighty Allah is happy with her.
I'm so proud to be empowered by this honorable organization. As you can see, I was taught how to map out this trouser from the length to the hips to the waistline.
Do you know what it really means to give us this kind of package in this kind of hard situation? Oh God, Mama, may the Almighty God continue to bless you.
The president of the foundation, Prosperity Ojezbolo, who was represented by the coordinator of Divine Care Conglomerate Foundation, Basira Musa Yunusa, says the mission of the foundation is to empower women and award scholarships to as many as possible, amongst others.
We started this training October 8th, and by the special grace of God, we will be ending the first batch by January, because every section is going to last for 3 months.
While pledging to continue to feed and support the less privileged in the society, the president of the foundation called on beneficiaries to take their skills acquisition program more seriously. In Abuja, Thomas Ogbetere, NTA News.
The National Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission, NHYPERDEC, has embarked on the 2024 Needs Assessment and Mapping Scheme of communities housing the 4 hydroelectric power producing dams in Niger State. This exercise follows the federal government's directive to assess the status of the present hydroelectric and non-electric dams in the country for necessary actions in Mina, from where Mercy Fabi reports.
Assessment exercise and community mapping scheme was to identify communities affected by the activities of the hydroelectric power producing dams, assess challenges faced by various communities with a view to providing their priority needs with resources at the disposal of the Commission. The similar exercise, which was carried out 3 years ago, gave an insight to the needs of the communities along the dams and also an opportunity to assess the conditions of the dams. Managing Director, NHYPERDEC, Abubakar Sadiq Yelwa, brought people of Wuyakede, a Mokwa local government area, up to speed on various intervention programs of the Commission.
Because we have a president that listens, we have a president whose concern is the overall development of Nigerians, he decided to hit the bull by the horn by directing the immediate survey an assessment of the status of the present dams in hydro and electricity providing and non-electricity providing, in order to ensure that the dams can be made useful for economic development, agricultural development, and will not pose any threat to the communities where they are located.
The assessment exercise is a continuous one. In Mina, Mercy Fabi, NT News.
And that's the news desk at 3. I'm Comfort Amodu.